Hi everybody, my name is Professor Dignor and I will be teaching you web design BCA 250. Our first chapter is developing a basic web page. Actually, HTML is a bunch of code, and actually you have to remember each code so that you will be able to be a webmaster. So I try my best to give you as much as I could to make you a webmaster. So in the next slide, what you need here is what do I need to design web pages. Actually, to write the HTML code you will need the Notepad. The Notepad is a free program that is always in the any of the Windows, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows 2000. Always you will see the Notepad is a free program. To view the code typed in the Notepad, you need browser. Actually, what you typed, you want to see the output of what you typed, you will need a browser. For example, the Internet Explorer 6 or 7 or Firefox or Netscape. You will need browser to display the content of the web page you typed in the Notepad. Now, to open the Notepad, always the Notepad is under the Start menu, All Program, Accessories, and then the Notepad. When you click on it, you will get the Notepad as shown on the screen. Next, now the browser looks like what you see on the screen. The one you see is a Firefox and the other one is the Internet Explorer. So you can use either one of them to see the content of the web page. So whenever you type the code in the Notepad, all the command will have to be typed in the Notepad. Now to see what you typed in the Notepad, you will need the browser. So either Firefox is also free and the Internet Explorer is also free. So we will be using the Internet Explorer to display the content of the web page. Now the other thing that you have to remember while creating web pages is to how to save the code in the Notepad. As you know that the Notepad is obviously created for typing, and if you will not specify the extension of the file, then obviously the file will be saved as a text file, which you don't want it, because if you create a text file, so that's a useless. You need your file to be saved as a web page. So how you will do it is you have to click the save button from the menu, and then you have to click on the file save, and then after the file name, then you have to put .htm or HTML. For example, my first page .htm. If you will not put the .htm or the HTML after the file name, then the file will save as a text file, which is not a web page. Next, here I have commands in HTML. Commands in chapter number 1. The first one that we have to discuss is about the heading commands. The heading command has H1, which is H stand for heading. 1 is the size. So H1 is the biggest size heading, whereas the smallest is H6. Some of these H1 has an attribute like where you want the heading to be on the screen, in the left, right, or center. Then you have to use the style within the H1 to move the heading in the left, in the right, in the center, which I will show you in my coming slide. Now the next one is the paragraph command. You have to use the P, then you have to put the text in the middle, and then you have to close it with the /P. To break a line, if you want to move your text in the next line, you have to use the BR and then the slash at the end. If you want to put a comments in your HTML, we have a command for that too. In HTML, we have like 3 type of list item. One is order list. If you want your list item to be in a sequence like 1 to 20, A to Z, capital Romans and small Romans, then you have to use the order list item. Unordered list item are those which don't have any sequence, like a circle, square, or a disc shape. Definition list obviously is something like you have a question like what is a computer, and then you wanna indent the answer from the question, then you have to use the definition list item. The horizontal rule is an HR command that you place a line crossing the web page, a line that will cross your screen to indicate different portion of your web page. Then to boldface your text, you have to say the tag, and then within the tag you have to put the B, and then you have to put the text, and then you have to close with the /B. To italize your text, you have to put the I and then the text in the middle that you want to italize, and then close with the /I. To underline a specific text, you have to use the U and then the text that you want to underline, and then you have to close with the /U. The next slide I have is structure of an HTML file. Always you have to start, whenever you want to create a web page in HTML or you want to create a web page, you need to open your notepad, and then you have to start with the tag with the less than sign, HTML, and then the greater sign, and then you have to say head, and then title created by Sadiq, and then close the title with the /title, and then close the head that you open in the beginning. You have to close it, and then you have to put the body with the tag and then body, and then you have to close the body, and then you have to close the HTML at the end. Now why we put HTML in the beginning is that this HTML command will indicate that this file is a pure HTML file, is not a Microsoft document file. The browser will know that it's an HTML from the first command, which is the HTML. Okay. The next thing that you have noticed here is when you click the file and save from your notepad, then you have to put any name .html beside where it says file name. You have to put the name of your web page .htm, and then you have to click the save key. After you have saved your notepad, then you will see that your web page will look like this icon on the desktop, which is like a web page. And sometimes if you don't have a Firefox, then your web page will look like a big internet E on your web page that you saved on the desktop or anywhere on your flash. The best thing that you have to remember that you have to create a folder, and then you have to put all your file associated in your project in one place. Don't put everything in different places. Create one folder and then create all your web pages, the images that you want to use. It has to be in a folder. Now the next thing here in my next slide is to open the web page. To open the web page, just you have to double click your file that you create, and it will directly open in your browser, whether Internet Explorer or your Firefox. Now here, if you see that I put the notepad in the right hand side, and then you have the browser in the next side. Then here what I said is HTML head title created by Sadiq. That's the title of the web page created by Sadiq. Then I close the head in my notepad. Then the body is blank, and then I close the body, and then I close the HTML. Now if you look at the browser, the arrow indicates that always if you put a title created by Sadiq or created by John Allen or created by Yahoo, always it will show up in your browser, the title of your browser, always the message, always the web page title will be in your browser title bar. Then the next thing that you notice that the address box display the name and the location of the web page file, and the third arrow, the one in the middle, saying that the white area, which is the web page content, will appear here. Always if you type something in between the body and the closing body, it will always show up in the white area of your web browser. In my next slide here, I want to show you that you have to start creating your web page. You have to start with the HTML head, then the comments. If you want to put a comment who create this web page and when you create this, that's an optional. If you don't, you don't have to put it. Then the next tag is the title created by Sadiq, and then I close the title, then the head, and then I start the body, because that's where I want the user to look at it, what I offer. So the first heading is H1, and then I want my heading 1, which is a big size heading, I want that to be in the center. So I say style equal text minus align colon center, and then I put Sadiq, my message Sadiq Noor web design online class, then I close with the slash H1. The next heading is H2, and then the style is text align equal center. I want the text to be in the center, and then my message, and then I close with the slash H2. The next thing here is H2, the style equal color red colon red, because I want the heading to be of red color. The next I have is a paragraph, and then I want my paragraph to be justified. So I say style equal double quotation text minus align colon justify double quote, then my message, and then I close the slash P. The next command I put here is H2, and then my message class policies, and then I close with the slash H2. The next heading, the next command I use is H3, and then my message grading, and then I close with the slash H3. The next command I used in my web page is P, and the style, the color of my paragraph is red, and then I want the text to be boldface. So I say font minus weight bold, and then quotation, and then I put all my message like 20% homework, and then I break to move the next message underneath the first, then 5% attendance, and break with the slash, and then I close the paragraph at the end. Then I use the H3, and then appointment, and then I close the H3. Then I use the paragraph, and then the style I use is color. I want it to be blue color, and I want to bold my paragraph. So, and then my message, and then I close the paragraph, and then I close the body, and then I close the HTML at the end. Now in this here, what you have to remember is always that the style has to be within the HTML code. If you will not, the style is obviously is optional. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you think that you don't want to use it, don't use it. In this case, that I use some of the style to show you, because the style is the CSS, it's the cascade style sheet, is like important nowadays in creating a web design. That's why from your first chapter it indicates that we have to use the style. Now in this case here also, if you look, I will keep on putting more stuff in this web page to show you. Now in the right hand you see the output of what I typed, and that's what you will get in your right hand side in your browser. Now in my next slide, I want to explore about how to add the list item in HTML. As I said, there are three types of list item in HTML. One is the order list item. The order list item is such an list item that has a sequence like A to 20, A to Z, or the Roman I. So they are in a sequence, or a small a. The unordered list item is such a list that without a sequence. The unordered list could be the disk shape, the circle shape, or the square. The definition list item, it will start with the DL. DL stands for definition list. Then the DT, which is the definition term. That will be your question, like what is computer, and then you have to close with the slash DT. Then you have to start with the DD, which is your answer. That's DD stands for definition, data definition. So here my computer is an electronic device, and then you have to close your definition data. The next thing is, if you have another question, then you have to start with the data term, and then you have to close your data term, and then your data definition, and then you have to close your data definition, and then at the end you have to close your definition list. Now here in my next slide is how to use the order list. In this case, if you see that whenever you want to use the order list, you have to start with the tag OL, O order, and L for list, and then LI is your list item, and I want my list item to be of red color, so I put the style equal double quote color colon red semicolon, and I want a bold face, so I say font minus weight colon bold, and then the item is car, and then I close the list I, and then the next list I is house, and then I close the list item, and then I close the OL. By default, if you don't put anything in the OL, by default it will start, your list item will start with 1 2 and so on. It depends how many items you put in the list. In my case, I have only car and house, that's why it's 1 and 2. Now if you said that I want to change the default, I don't want 1 2, I want A B, capital A B C and so on, then you have to say OL order list type equal double quote capital A double quotation, and then the greater sign, then the list item Sadiq, and then close the list item, close, then start your second list item is Nur, and then close the list with the slash LI, and then close with OL. And then if you want your list item to start with small a's, and then you have to say list item OL type equal small a, then list item BCA 250, then LI list item 260, and then close the list item, and then close the OL. The next thing here I show you is if you want to have a Roman like, so then you will start with the OL type equal capital I, and then list item computer, list item keyboard, and then close your OL. The next thing here to show you, if you want in a small Roman, then you see here OL the order list type equal small Roman, and list item style should be red, and I want to boldface my list item, and then the font style is italic, I want to italicize it, and then the message is lion, and then tiger, and my next item is tiger, and then I close the OL. Now suppose that if you don't want to start your list item from 1 2 3, if you want to start from 200 300 or 120, so that the list item will take it from 120 to so on. So by default, if you don't say it, then it will start from 1 2 3 and so on. But if you say no, I want to start from 120, so in this case you will say OL start equal double quote 120, and then the list item is Suzanne, then I close the list items, and then the next is list item Sarah, then I close with the slash LI, and then I close with the slash OL. That's how to terminate your order list. In this case, if you see in your output in your browser, it will say 120 and 121. 120 is Suzanne and 121 is Sarah. In my next slide is to explore how to use the unordered list and how you can use the definition list item. So in this case, I start with the UL, which is unordered, and L is for list. Then my first item, list item, is girl, and then I close the list I. Then my next item is LI, and then the item is boy. Then I close the list item, and then I close the unordered list. So by default, the unordered list will be a disk shape, a disk shape like is a circle filled up with a black color. That's the default. As in the order list, the default was numbers. For the unordered list, it will be a disk shape, a circle with a fill up with a black color. Now if you said I don't want a disk color, I don't want a disk shape, I want to have a circle, then you will say ul type equal double quotation. It has to be in small letters, so circle, double quotes, then your list item paper, then close your list item, then list item pencil, close with the /li, then close the UL. In this case, if you see in the right hand side, the paper and pencil will be in a circle. The shape, the list item will be in a circle shape. Then if you said I don't want a circle, I want a square, then you have to say ul type equal square. Your list item will be list item I, then I close the list I, then the next item is list I lips, and then close the li, and then close the ul. So in this case, if you look in the right hand side, you will see the browser will indicate that the eye and the lips, they are square shape. Now suppose if you said I don't want a disk shape, or I don't want a circle, I don't want a square, I want to put an image with my list item. In this case, you will say ul style list minus image colon url, the picture you want to use, the name of the picture dot the extension of the picture, and then vertical minus align colon super if you want to move the text. Like if you look in the right hand side, university, college and school, they are a little bit in the top. It's like a power of the image if you look at it. And then I put my list item university, then my next item is college, then is school, and then I had to close with the /ul. Now in the other thing I have here is the definition list. You have to start with the DL, then the definition term DT, which is definition term. Then at the style, I want the color, the question I want it to be in brown color, and then I want to bold it, I want to italize it. My question is what is computer, then I have to close the DT. Then the next is DD, which is the definition, data definition. The data definition, I want it to be in a purple color, so I say style equal double quote color purple, and then found bold, and then the answer is computer is an electronic device. Then I close that /dd. Then I use another question, so you have to start with the data term, and then the style you want like a brown color you want your question to be, and you want to bold your question, and then what is HTML, and then the answer should be in a data definition and then your answer, and then you have to close with the /definition data, and then you have to close with the definition list item, and then at the end you have to close the HTML, the body and the HTML. In this slide, I will be teaching you how to insert an image and how to put a background color or a image in the web page. Now if you look at the body tag, look at the body tag, and then I say style equal double quote background minus color, and then colon page. And if you look in the right hand side, the output of the web page will look like a page color. That's the background color I want for my web page. Suppose if you want to use an image, a background image, then you have to say body style equal double quote background minus image colon URL bracket the name of the image dot the extension, and then you have to close with the bracket and then double quote and then the greater sign. That's the difference how you can replace the background color by the background image. The next thing that if you see, I want to put this picture in the middle below my heading where it says Sadiq new web page design online class. I want to put a small picture, an image. So to put the image, if you look at below your H1, after the body. Then below the H1 you will see I put a paragraph style text minus align colon center, because I want the picture to be in the center. Then the image, how to put the picture is image source equal double quote S is the name of the picture you see in the right hand side, dot JPG is the extension, double quote, then the width equal 100. That means how you want your picture to be wider, or you want to shrink it, or you want to increase the size of the picture. So the width is width wise you want to increase, and then if you want to increase the height of the picture, so in this case I say 100 pixels. And then alternate, that's the alt command here, is when you move your cursor over the picture you should get the message as it is my picture. You can put any message you want. That's the way how you can insert the picture. The picture you can put anywhere you want. It depends on you where you want the image to go. So that's the image command. Image source equal the name of the picture dot the extension. It could be JPG, it could be JIP, GIF, GIF, it could be any type of picture. The width and height, it depends. If the picture is bigger you can shrink it, if the picture is small you can increase the size. And then alternate is the message. When you move your mouse over the picture you should get a message there. Then you have to close the paragraph because you want the picture to be in the center. If you will not close the paragraph then everything will be in the center. The next command you see here is the HR, which is the horizontal rule. Style equal color pink. I want if you look at below the picture I have a pink line crossing the page. That's the HR. So the color I want is pink. The background color should be pink. And then the height, which is the thickness, is 6, and the width is colon 100%, means that I want the line to cross the whole web page. If you say no, I want it only in the mid of the page, then it should be the width 50% of the screen size. By default now I said 100 means the size of the screen, but if you say no, I want it to be in the middle, then 50% of the screen size, so the line will be in the middle. Now sometime by mistake if you close your notepad and then you want to come back to your notepad, or you want to open your source, means that you want to view the notepad again, but by mistake you close it. So you don't have to scare here. Just open the browser. In the browser, if your web is already in the browser, you have to click the view from the menu bar. Click the view and then source. Click the view command from your menu bar of your Internet Explorer and then source. As soon as you click the source, you will see the notepad will come back on the screen, and then you can modify or you can add any commands you want in your web page. And then whatever code you put in your web page, you have to save it. Then you have to open the browser and then refresh by pressing the F5 command, or you will see the refresh button on your standard toolbar. So this is the continuation of the previous slide. In this case I want to show you that after you click the view and source, and then in a few seconds your notepad will show up again, and then you can modify your code, and then you have to save the changes, and then you have to open your web page in the browser, and then you can see the changes you did. Now one thing that you have to remember, guys, is that always you need to create a folder, and then you have to save all your web pages and the images in the same folder. By doing the way I said to you, it will be easier for you to access the image and the other pages. So if they are in somewhere else, like in your my document, or some picture are in the hard disk, it will be hard for you to link the images. So the best from the first class, I'm asking you to create a folder, and then whatever web page you create, save it in that folder. Now the other thing, whenever I will give you an assignment, and then when you are ready to submit your assignment, you will need to zip the folder with everything that you did, save it, save like zip the folder. Like how to zip it is right click on the folder and then send to, and then the first option on the send to option will be compressed. So when you hit the compressed, then you will see that your file will have something on it. That's what I need. Then you have to open your Blackboard, and then you have to go to tools, and then digital Dropbox, and then send file option, and then you have to browse, and then you have to hook your zip folder, and then if you want to put a message anything in your Blackboard, and then you have to submit it. That's how I will get your assignment. If you have any anything that you want to ask me, or you can call me, and I hope this will help you a lot, because I try my best to explore as much as could, so that I can give you some help here to know how to put the commands and how you can use these commands. In the beginning is a little bit hard to understand, but I will try my best to put it like this. And please, I want you to put your comments in the in your discussion board about what you think. Did this multimedia movie help you a lot, or still I need to improve? I need your output. What you think? Is that the best that that helps you to gain or understand how to use the command? Because I need your feedback. Please put your input or your comments in your discussion board, because I want to see if that benefit you by doing this. Is that it helps you? Does it help you to improve and to gain this command, how to use it? Thank you very much, and hopefully I will try to do the same for chapter number 2 and so on. Thank you very much.